Yo, what is good, my quick crypto family and my Coin Factory family? We're back again with another daily Casper crypto live stream, and yeah, we have a very interesting discovery and source to cover in this video. We're going to dissect it and unfold it a little bit more. The source comes from the former Fox business journalist Eleanor Terrett here, where she now works for Crypto America, and she reveals with, the former chair of the Financial Committee, Patrick McHenry. She confirms that the former SEC chairman Gary Gensler was not actually as anti-crypto in private as he was in public, proving that everything we have been seeing in crypto all the way up to now was all pre-planned. It was all by design. It was all in an attempt to suppress crypto to allow the other financial institutions to get positioned accordingly to then be able to size into this space themselves. And of course, we'll get into all of that. And of course, how Casper, indirectly, therefore, did Gary Gensler, did the SEC actually save Casper? Because remember, the SEC did confirm in March, when you had Mark Yader, who was the acting chair of the SEC confirmed Bitcoin and crypto mining did not and still does not violate securities law, which is very huge news for Casper. We've got more to cover as always, so if you enjoy these daily live streams, leave a like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more. I do apologize for going live very late today. I did make an announcement in my Discord server very late. I do apologize. It is thankfully seeing one more year, but at the same time, one more year I'm older. I am, it's my birthday today, so 1 year older. I'm blessed to be another year on this earth, and as a result, while I have been doing work here and there, I've not been actually online right now throughout the whole day, so I've not been reading much of the messages or chats and people who reached out to me, and I do apologize. I'll get back to them later ASAP, but I've been spending time with my family as well, as you know, it is necessary. But that being said, despite the day, I'm still going to be here every single time talking about crypto and Casper for you. Also, if you again enjoy these contents, no matter what, I'll be here whenever I can be. Leave a like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more. Welcome back everyone again to the stream. Bingo Bango first, my man. Welcome back, my man. And yes, definitely take that, Mr. Miles. Buffalo second. Welcome back, brother. You too, Shay. Welcome back, my man. That Pulse player. Are KRC20s tied to Casper price movements? It's a very good question. And yes and no. And what I mean by that right now is, obviously Casper is starting to do a lot better. It's at 12 cents right now. It's down roughly 3%, 3.08% on the daily time frame. So we're seeing a pullback in crypto right now. It's not a call for concern. The fact of the matter is, we haven't seen Casper above 12 cents for a very long time, since end of January time. So we're still in a much stronger position right now, and I do still see a good possibility, not financial advice once more, of us seeing a rally for Casper, maybe breaching 13 cents, this zone here, before the end of May. I did say in my last stream, if those remember as well, that we are potentially anticipating some market pullbacks. Of course, we had the very beneficial news yesterday regarding the CPI data that told us that inflation is actually still lower than expected, which therefore has deterred a lot of the FUD around the tariff and the effect they're having on the economy. But there are still analysts and economists who say it will take a few months to actually price in properly. But either way, we saw a nice relief yesterday. But for me, I feel like the market's still a little bit overheated. And while there's still, a lot of good catalysts to come through, there's still a lot of uncertainty still kind of swimming around the market. So the way I stand right now, I would not be surprised to see Bitcoin and therefore crypto kind of correct back down to probably around 100k here. Again, depending on catalyst, we could come a little bit further, maybe 98, maybe 96k. Again, we'll have to play it by ear, wait and see. Those are my zones right now. But with 100k Bitcoin, for me, a possibility. And again, we could bring up the M2 supply once more to kind of further prove this point. Bring up the M2 supply. I mean, position it accordingly. Right now, we can see that we are, okay, I'm a little bit ahead. I should be on the 70-day. I apologize, not the 90-day. So putting it into the 10-week time frame, not the 13-week time frame, we can see here we are anticipating a bit of a market pullback around this stage. So seeing it come back right now is not out of the ordinary. We are meant to be seeing it come back to about 100k before we then see it push up higher. So I'm not too worried about the pullback right now. I think it's by design, so I can, take this opportunity myself to DCA back in at a lower value. Casper may therefore come back down. Where exactly, we can't say for sure. I'm hopeful that it'll stay above 11 cents, that being the last strong level of the distance. If we stay above that, that's a very, very strong sign. And we'll see where it values from there as well. So without that, wayward answer, to get to your point, Pulse player, are KRC20s tied to the price of Casper? Yes and no. Right now, KRC20s, for the most part, they're doing okay. You've had Bert and Casper up 85, 86%. Froppy, 42. Conan, 25. Zar, 23. So you've had a lot that are doing very well today. Nacho up 3. So Casper coming down doesn't mean they're all going to dump. But of course, Casper being at 12 cents as opposed to originally when KRC20 first came out and Casper was around 18 cents, they come down significantly. Nacho at one point was 70 mil market cap. Playing between 50. And now it's staying confidently. I mean, actually, last week it was around 10, 11, 12. Now it's at 18. So it has been gradually running. We can see from the last 7 days, it's been gradually going up, with Casper going up as well. So there is a loose connection. Once Casper makes that significant breakout, in my personal belief, these assets will rally as well, especially when you get the tier 1 listings, because that would be a good indicator that, more liquidity coming to Casper. They could cycle into KRC20 memes, and then you may very well see those tier 1s also, flip that switch and lift these memes as well. So the short answer is yes, but, not in the literal one-to-one sense. Mr. Miles, sure, further man, welcome back to the channel and stream. Hope you're doing very, very well today. Rug Master, that's not what it is. Free Mr. Miles, you know it. The bigger KRC20s ones seem to be such a natural. I mean, yeah, that's ultimately, again, the TLDR of what I was saying. The bigger KRC20 tokens do follow Casper a little bit more closely than the other ones, but still right now it's not strict, because again, memes are community sentiment. They don't follow anything structural. Well, they do in a weird sense. Understanding meme movement is very, very different is how I'm going to put it. But the bigger ones do tend to move similar to Casper. Happy birthday, I'd get you a cake if you let me out. Yeah, that's not happening anytime soon. I appreciate it very, very much, Mr. Miles. Thank you very much, my man, for the birthday wishes, and maybe I'll let you out with the past 20 cents. Welcome back, Shay. My birthday yesterday. Happy birthday, brother. Oh, happy birthday, belated birthday, man. Hopefully you had a great birthday and you had a great birthday in regard to crypto. Your birthday, we saw a lot of bullish price action. I'm seeing negative price action. That sucks. You saw 8% up on Casper yesterday. So your birthday was good. Mine is a little bit worse for where in regard to Casper price action. But either way, man, great to have you back, and hopefully you had a great birthday and had a lot of celebrations and stuff. So glad to hear it, my man. Another life and more life to you. Welcome back, Falcon Man, who's doing very, very well. Welcome back to the channel. Also, everybody buy some of quick crypto's feet picks. 10 kappa per pick for normal pick, 20 kappa for painted toenail picks. Just complete waffling. Complete and utter waffling. Happy birthday, fam. Thank you very much, Nate Hut, bro. Hope you're doing very well, my man. SEC bought some Casper. Oh, God, I wish, Lord. No, it's not exactly like that. When I say unintentionally save Casper, I'll get into that in literally just a moment. It comes down to basically Gary Gensler, the former SEC chairman, intentionally, which we already speculated, but we now have, seemingly more insider proof from the former chair of the financial committee, Patrick Henry, that Gary Gensler in private actually was not that bearish and negative on crypto. It was only in public that he was. So seemingly it was a whole political agenda by design. And by him, therefore, intentionally, politically stifling crypto's adoption, it gave Casper, during the time Gary Gensler was on a rampage, looking at Casper right now, Gary Gensler started losing his influence, if you will, his reign around the time Casper started going down. It's not saying Gary Gensler was the reason that Casper was rallying, no. But Gary Gensler, once it got to around the summertime and the chances of Trump winning went higher and higher and higher, and people didn't want Kamala Harris to take over instead of Biden, or for Biden. They wanted Trump to do it instead. And Gensler, therefore, was out the door. All of this, beforehand was just complete crypto stifling and manipulation, and everything was going down, apart from Casper, of course, did very, very well in this time period. But as a result, therefore, Gary Gensler not fast-tracking crypto adoption actually gave Casper more time to develop more so into where it's at right now, which I think is primed for significant adoption and explosion in price. Let's not piss off Jay today, at least for half the stream. Mr. Miles can do it ASAP. I'm sure he's always going to try and do that anyways. But yeah, thank you very much everyone once again, and hope you're having a great day as well so far. So I can get this man some RAM. Honestly, I should have asked for that for my birthday, but hey ho. Another time, hopefully. Once Casper makes my bags, I'm sure I'll get some RAM. It depends on the PPI report tomorrow. Also, Powell is supposed to be speaking afterwards. Oh yeah, that's also very true, Bigger Banger. Right now, the markets are, had a very, very significant. This has been a very, very volatile week, right? So far, we're currently at Wednesday. On Monday, we saw a lot of FOMO driving up with all the anticipation from Trump's tariff talks with China. And then on the day of markets opening on Monday and Trump's confirmation of the executive order on the drugs and also the trade talks and deal on confirmation with China, we saw Casper and the markets rally up significantly. And then the market sentiment flipped quickly into anticipation and FUD for what the inflation data is going to say. Which that's why we ended up going down a bit. We didn't finish that negatively on Casper, we went down a little bit. Then when the inflation data came out and ended up being better than expected, the markets were reacting very, very well. But now, again, we're in a similar position right now. Investors, once again, are uncertain about how the PPI report is going to come out and what it's going to determine. Will it be good? Will it be bad? If it's good, then that could therefore be the catalyst we see Casper therefore probably break above here. We might even see Bitcoin make another rally again. But if it ends up being bad, then I think we'll see Bitcoin come back down to 100k rather soonish. We might then see it reversing. I'm going to have to wait and see. There's still, of course, more catalysts to come out. One thing that I think the investors are still waiting for, is the stablecoin bill, which has been halted so far. And they're going to bring it back to the floor. Not sure when, but ideally in the next 2 weeks or so. And if they bring it back to the floor and it gets denied again, that will cause a significant pullback. Because that means they've got to kind of draw the whole thing up from scratch again. Because if it gets denied twice at the same level, they've got to do it again basically from scratch. So it's going to be a very, very important, retry, if you will. But the PPR being important, has much more data to come out as well. We've got to pay attention to as well, alongside the geopolitical stuff as well. There's still a lot of tension in the markets right now. So tomorrow's going to be important. So, stay tuned for tomorrow's stream. We'll find out exactly what's happening in the market and what we need to look forward to as well. If I was to hazard a guess, I think if we do get positive PPI, I want to say Bitcoin will come up again like it did on the day we saw, a big rally with Bitcoin following the trade talks. We might see it reach 106k potentially. I still think best case, we see Bitcoin rally up probably to its all-time highest, but it'll get rejected here. I don't think Bitcoin right now has momentum to push above it. I could be wrong again, not financial advice. I do expect to see a pullback. I want to say absolute worst case for me right now, and that's again without any uncertainties and any surprise developments like tariff, whatever it may be, or geopolitical wars, whatever it may be. Worst case, I see Bitcoin coming down to 96-ish. 100 of me is more likely. Again, but if we do see it push up and then come back down, it may come back down to this zone here as well. Again, there's so many zones to take into account, and we have to play reactionary as always. While I'm analysing these zones right now, we play reactionary to the market so we don't miss out at all. That's why we're still here every day. Of course, it can be a bit intoxicating looking at crypto all the time, but it can also be beneficial and very, very insightful as well. Welcome back, Casper Keyman. Hope you're doing very, very well. Yo, indeed. So Casper dumps on QC's birthdays. We all know what we must do. What must be done. He can't be allowed on the birthday. Make me sound like I'm Anakin Skywalker. No, because I know it's all love from Mr. Mars. A bit dark, but I know it's all love, so it's all good, my man. Welcome back, Greg, bro. Happy birthday. Thank you very much, my brother. Hope you're doing very well again. Cautious optimism. Market needs confirmation of CPI with PPI. Powell speaking sound bullish. Yeah, again, that's also important. There's going to be a lot of Fed speakers and official speaking over the coming few days or so. And while their stance is still going to be mainly hawkish, because if the CPI, which is already good, if the PPI also comes back being good, then the hawkish sentiment is going to flip a lot more to kind of neutral, maybe even more dovish, and that will be great for investors as well. Now, before I get into more of the comments and questions, welcome back everyone again. If I haven't got to you just yet, I will do. Let's get into the actual nature of today's stream. So to start off with, so I can also get a drink of water, I'm going to be playing this interview, this snippet here from the former Fox Business journalist Eleanor Terrett here, who now works for Crypto Media, who I believe that's a platform on top of the Say chain, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it is. Original podcast powered by Say. So, I mean, that's a good thing for Say, therefore. I do really, really love Eleanor Terrett. Her scoops are very insightful. She's a journalist, of course, but she has, been very, very accurate. She's got a lot of inside information. So I do trust her sources 9 times out of 10. And she's got an interview here with Patrick McHenry. So again, inside information. And in this interview we're about to hear, we can hear Eleanor Terrett revealing how the former SEC chief Gary Gensler was actually not anti-crypto in private as he was in public. So he still had a bit of a negative sentiment ultimately, but nowhere near as bad. I think it had more to do with senator politics and confirmation politics rather than his actual beliefs. The full episode will be coming out in due time tomorrow. So I'll be probably looking at that a little bit more as well. I do again want to find out more, but again, listen very closely to this and we'll dissect what it means in just a moment.
Based on your closed door meetings with Gary, did he come across or was he as anti-crypto in private as he did in public?
No.
No?
Nope.
Wow.
No, I mean, look, Gensler had this complicated history where he saw the value of digital assets and he was in the seat to do something about it and he was trying to kill it.
Well,
it's just really complicated.
He invented the airdrop, right? I mean, people forget that at MIT,
yes.
the best way to build liquidity. Yeah, it's a forgotten chapter in his story. Yeah,
completely forgotten. I had this weird, mistaken, stupid now belief that he wouldn't be that bad as SEC chair. And I mean, the level of disappointment. You can have a conversation with him about the content structures, the legal piece of this stuff, and it's a very reasonable thing. And then you start asking him questions and about what he would do about it, and you're like, wait a second, but that's kind of disagreeing with all your facts you've just given me. You've agreed are real. I cannot understand
that is? Yeah.
Ideology, progressive ideology, and Elizabeth Warren is justifying her view and contorting herself into this really anti-crypto view. Yet it's clear she doesn't understand the technology. Gensler understands the technology, and yet he's in the same space. Like he comes to the same conclusion. I think it had to do more with Senate politics and confirmation politics than anything else.
Right, and now he's back at MIT teaching fintech and AI.
He'll come up with the next airdrop.
Yeah, you never know. So maybe keep him out. Maybe out of government, not as bad as in government. But that's probably generally the case.
I would rather read his research papers and see him on CNBC announcing enforcement actions. Personally, I think that's a much better.
Now, I actually find that very, very comedic, ironic, because of course, for someone who, as Mr. Marshall jokes, an XRP maxi, of course I'm not, but I do hold XRP, and therefore the legal proceedings with Ripple and XRP I did follow very, very closely. I found it very frustrating hearing Gary Gensler dodge, dip, dive questions about regulations by enforcement, about what he thought about Ethereum when he was told to follow that as a security, which was done because the New York Financial Service Authority, so they're the ones who actually asked the SEC to do it on their behalf. So evidently we just heard here from people who are insiders, again, stuff that I actually didn't even know myself. Gary Gensler created the airdrop. He has technological knowledge. I knew he worked for MIT. I've heard interviews of him talking about crypto and seemingly his understanding of it, and I wouldn't say bullish stance, but understanding of crypto at the very least. But then when he got in as SEC chair, despite his seemingly knowledge on the matter and understanding of crypto and digital assets, whenever he spoke in public, it was like he had no idea what he was talking about, or he had no idea what to do. As if, again, it's like he had a noose around his neck and couldn't speak out on his true beliefs, which, as Patrick Henry highlights here, Elizabeth Warren equally is anti-crypto as someone who's part of the Senate politician, but she has no idea. She's quite frankly clueless. I actually wish that John Deaton, who was running for Massachusetts Senate against Elizabeth Warren, I wish he won, because he's a very pro crypto, and he also was a big part in the Ripple lawsuit. Again, I haven't got to like XRP. Point being, as someone who, you know, fought for crypto, he fought for the little people, for thousands of people who got done in by the SEC's legal suit against XRP, who were just caught in the crossfire. He fought for them free of charge. So I would have wished he won over Elizabeth Warren. It's a shame that she's still in power and still waffling. I've tried to ignore her. I don't think she's got any power anymore, realistically, now that Trump's in power. But yeah, I mean, this to me is mental. The fact that, again, Gary Gensler was, you know, by design seemingly stifling crypto. And that's why I stated in the thumbnail of the video of this stream, is it was all pre-planned. For me, this is quite evident that, you know, previous administration under Biden, they did not like crypto. So Gary Gensler had to, you know, bite his tongue effectively and stifle it. But maybe, I mean, truth be told, maybe they would have still been the same way. It's a very good possibility. But maybe it was all by design, stifling crypto with Gary Gensler beforehand, therefore meaning Gary Gensler is going to go down in history as the worst SEC chair in history, which is a shame because evidently he's very knowledgeable. But because of that, it has unintentionally saved. I wouldn't say saved, maybe saved the right word, but it's helped Casper. It's unintentionally helped Casper a lot. Of course, during that whole crypto strife and, you know, issues in America, right? Casper, you know, launched in that bear market. We witnessed the FTX collapse and went parabolic, right? Went up over 100,000% from its absolute start. Of course, it's had a pullback since, and now it's starting to make that recovery finally as we start in March or April even. Starting in April, now starting that recovery. But we saw Casper do very, very well. Now, if we did have a pro-crypto administration and Gary Gensler who was actually taking the right means, we may have seen this cycle top out earlier. We may see institutions already trading and offering crypto services. They're only starting to do it now, the OCC. We're only going to start getting stablecoin bills and regulatory market structure bills coming out now, in the next few weeks or months. So we're still relatively early. But if we had a different, you know, SEC chair or a different administration or even just a different viewpoint, you might see an earlier cycle top. Maybe a longer cycle, you could argue that as well, but I think you'd see an early cycle top, and that therefore means that Casper may continue rallying higher and higher and higher, not seeing this massive pullback, but that also could have been, you know, maybe even more damaging in regards to just FOMO driving up higher and higher. And Casper, as it stands right now, is a lot better, of course. 10 BPS finally out. But at this stage right here, 1st of August, when it started going through that correction from 20 cents, what did Casper actually have? Besides, of course, being the most innovative trilemma-solving proof of work crypto project ever in existence. Of course, that's a, you know, headline massive thing. Not taking that away from them, but in regards to actual use case, had no smart contracts. 1 BPS is still extremely quick, but, you know, 10 BPS is much faster, and it can significantly compete and surpass other chains now, confidently. You know, it's got increased security now thanks to that, because it now incentivizes more solo miners to 10 BPS as opposed to just mining pools, because you make more frequent rewards and stuff from that. So Casper is in a lot stronger position right now, and then you've got potential stablecoins coming out as well. So at this point here, Casper didn't really have much. It didn't have KRC20 here either, actually. I think you only just had the KII. Then the KII just formed around here, give or take. Maybe a little bit before, a little bit after. I don't know the exact date right now, but it was around this period. Didn't have KRC20 either. That came out here. KRC20 came out around here, around this second peak. So, for me, with the SEC stifling crypto for so long, it gave the market a longer downtrend, a longer consolidation period, a lot of strife and hurt, and a lot of business leaving America for crypto going elsewhere. But now it's coming back because America's still the biggest financial capital of the world, the most business there, the most capital. Coming back now under Trump, seemingly quite quickly as well, which is great. And Casper, of course, going through a massive downtrend. It's now going through a reversal, and now it's primed and ready to see all of its massive use case developments coming out. 10 BPS has been out for 9 days. I feel like a month now, honestly, but it's only been 9 days. Stablecoins, we have got some form of confirmation they're coming out relatively soon. We still haven't got a date yet, and equally no date for stablecoins either, but they are both on the horizon. You still haven't got stuff like tier 1 listings. While they're not the most significant thing for Casper, they are still going to be price pumpers, which are important, and that'll help us get a higher price this cycle. I don't particularly care greatly about tier 1s, I'll be so for real, I don't. They'll come in inevitably in my belief, and of course when they do I'll get a higher price, but at the same time, for me, I don't feel like I need them. I'm in for Casper to make gains, of course, but also because I do perceive it as the future of money. I really, really do, wholeheartedly. So I don't need to see tier ones listed to put the price higher. It's going to keep going up for me as a deflationary asset. As supply gets less and less and demand goes up higher and higher, supply shock, price rally, same old as anything. Right now, Casper's got $122 million 24-hour trading volume. It's come down a little bit again from the 200 yesterday, but not surprising, truth be told. 24 for Gate, 24 equally pretty much for Mexi as well. 10 for L-Bank, 11.8 for Bybit, which is good, but again, needs to be higher. Big Get 7.27, Kraken 1.37. Again, we need to see the volumes in these three in particular a lot higher right now. Holders right now are still looking fairly strong, hovering around 524,000. We haven't seen much movement from the big wallets, particularly today. We have seen some outflows. We have seen some inflows. Nothing crazy today, truth be told. Just kind of quiet right now. And that's, again, Casper's not really moved that much today. It's only down 3.4%, give or take. So it's not done a lot of movement today. But again, I think that's, again, as Bingo highlighted earlier, is anticipation for the PPI data coming out tomorrow. That could be very, very detriment to how the Fed are going to be reacting and talking and, you know, giving their speeches regarding the economic stability of America in their incoming talks, and therefore their strategies, whether they're going to actually start cutting rates if they think they can do, or just keep holding strong on the sideline. They're going to probably hold on the sideline, but you might see some more dovish sentiment, which would be very good to hear, of course. Very good to hear indeed. But again, I mean, right now, again, this is something very, very important to me. And again, I said it's by design pre-planned again, kind of coming back full circle, because it's given these TradFi institutions, this Web2 space, this financial institution capital, this trillions of capital, now time to get in when they are ready. Because back last year, the year before, they had an idea, but they still weren't ready. They still weren't prepared for crypto. They didn't accept it. JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan, hated Bitcoin. I think he still does, but he is completely anti-crypto, calling it for scams. Now, 4 trillion asset manager JP Morgan Chase settles first public transaction on tokenized treasuries. Blockchain. From hating crypto to start actually utilizing the technology, so they know they can't be left behind. So once more, the SEC, by design, started innovation, giving these TradFi companies to catch up, and also helping out Casper. Remember as well, as highlighted here, the SEC confirms Bitcoin and crypto mining does not violate securities laws. The article is here available in my community as well. So you can actually see proof that self/solo mining, you know, does not violate securities laws. Mining pools equally do not violate securities laws. So therefore, if you're a crypto miner, so mining Bitcoin or Casper, you are within the law. You are perfectly fine to do so, which is great news. So that gives them more vote for confidence for Casper in what it is for the future as well. And equally, in regards to the SEC as well, the KRI, who again came out around Casper's all-time high, give or take, around that period of time. The KRI mentioned back March 7th, so about 2 months ago now, that they were going to be approaching and talking to the SEC Crypto Task Force, supporting the classification of digital assets. And at the same time, they mentioned that as well when Johnny was replying to the KRI. He said that, yeah, you make great points. Whilst we're in DC, we'll be meeting with a lot of other agencies, institutions, and others as well to discuss Casper and the projects being built in it. So the enterprise projects, so Asset Mint, Gigawatt, Warp Core, ZETEX. You know, there are many projects, Olive Chain, that the KRI have. So they were speaking to all of these agencies, institutions about Casper and the projects right now. So again, while we've heard nothing, because again, there'll be NDAs and stuff happening behind the closed doors, there's no doubt the SEC and these governmental bodies and institutions, they know of Casper. Coinbase also know of Casper. Binance, these exchanges know of Casper, they're just ignoring them right now. Reasons unbeknownst to us, but they are aware of Casper. It's a top 30, top 40 asset. It's been top 20. And some of the projects that I'm mentioning as well related to energy trading and other businesses. That is ZETEX, energy trading. Potentially Gigawatt as well, being a stablecoin that also could be utilized in the energy market and other businesses. So whilst taxonomy isn't new, most people don't understand it. And again, KRI are doing a big thing in that regard. And Casper, again, is extremely early and in a good position, a prime position to see some significant adoption coming through. One new project that, again, always be aware of new projects coming out, but so far I choose to trust Casway wholeheartedly. They haven't got a lot of followers right now, but for me, what I do to determine if a project is safe and worthwhile looking into, I look at who's following them. Casper Commons is the original individual who used to run the Casper Currency Twitter page. the quote unofficial / official Twitter page. He's now made the Casper Common one so he could do his own thing. So he's someone that I would choose to trust, truth be told. He's very inclusive to the community. People here that I follow as well that I choose to trust as well, that I know them quite well. Wolfie's Bar, Casper Silver, of course, one of the biggest content creators for Casper as well. You have Casper Insider, XXIM, who'll be doing a lot of interviews with the likes of Casper Door and then people as well. Other big people, Christian Ludwig, huge. You also got Chad, who works with Rhubarb Media. And even Eli here as well. So there, of course, there are a lot of people who follow them. That's people that I follow as well. So this is just me highlighting again that one thing I tend to normally do to determine whether I trust a new project for Casper or not, is to see who else is following them. Because normally, while I am still up and coming myself, I'm not in these in-depth insider circles yet. Hopefully one day, though. I hope to one day get some interviews with some big people. I need to do some more networking on my end. And also therefore be more beneficial for you guys as well to hear in this channel firsthand the stuff coming to Casper from maybe the likes of Wolfie or Casper Door if they have the time to grace us. But again, that's me got to reach out and I'll see if I can. But again, I'm just highlighting here, these people, these institutions, they'll be going through to these insiders. Casper Silver is very in tune to that space, so he will have insiders. Casper Door will be great, Wolfie will be great. So you see those people, Christian Ludwig's also very in tune as well. So you should see those people tend to follow these people. Again, if you see Casper official, quote unquote official, unofficial Twitter page following as well, that's the best thing as well. Or KF or KRI, people who actually, seem as kind of there's no founder of Casper, but one of the kind of the central points of Casper. If they're following these projects, that's normally a very good indicator they are trustworthy. So Casway here, highlights here, in response to this comment here. So we'll go through this whole element here. So we can see the TLDR, somebody asking here, ready to revolutionize your business with the power of Casper, introducing Casway POS, the decentralized real-time point-of-sale solution built for the future of commerce. Accept Casper instantly. The kind of generic thing about what Casway is. Someone asked here, should be converted to a stablecoin immediately after sale. And Casway did a TLDR here, basically just saying, we will support stablecoins when it's available natively on the Casper network. Until that happens, we will only accept Casper as the primary currency. To understand why, here's the explanation here, which is a long one I'm not going to get into. I'll link this down below, or I'll link this in my free Discord server, which you go check out. Again, links down in the description and also my homepage as well. You should go check that out there. So he highlights this all here, and Casper Silver says something which I do agree with, truth be told, which is a great move on using Casper as a default currency and not making some kind of alternative KRC20 token for your product. Is counterintuitive and also brings more counterintuitive for a product like this, and brings more trust to them because they're called Casway and they're using Casper. Makes sense, right? Casper is a currency, so it should be used in the primary focus as well. And then it highlights here as well. I get that you are a business and must follow demand, but will never realize Satoshi's vision of peer-to-peer electronic cash systems if we keep holding onto fiat stablecoins. And they highlighted here, well, due to regulatory concerns, some merchants prefer to play safe and just follow the rules, which is accepted right now. Despite this space is, evolving now, we're still very, very rigid with regulations. UK is terrible. America's getting better now. EU is very rigid and restricted as well. Some parts of the world, I think like Japan, are a bit more flamboyant, if you will, a bit more loose, but big, in particular where I'm at in UK, it's very, very restrictive. So Casper is saying here, why not facilitate both? Casper will not be replaced and the community will still be able to trade stuff using the coin if and when they want to. I do like this factor, truth be told. And equally, there seems to be talk about potentially them being able to be used with Castle wallet as well. So again, some form of integration, interoperability between multiple dApps coming to Casper, which is again good news all around. So I'm looking forward to Casway. I would like to see maybe I can get access to their any decks they've got going on, any early access. I'll see if I can, but I'm looking forward to seeing what's coming out. Again, the stuff coming for Casper is looking very exciting. I'm expecting in the next month or two we'll see smart contracts. We'll see it before Q3. That's the confirmation we have right now, smart contract before Q3, and then we'll see this space evolve with all these dApps being launched almost instantaneously, I'd imagine, or very soon afterwards, and we'll see the market being a stronger in there as well. You might see tier 1 listings coming out again as a potential price pump, but a lot more coming in that regard. And we'll speak about some listing stuff in a moment right here, but before we do, let's get into some of the questions. Can you bring the light on the rumor Coinbase listing? I did speak about it in my stream yesterday, my brother. Unfortunately, there's nothing to go off right now. I did ask him, is there a source for this? Of course, he just didn't reply to it. For me, he's a very big KOL. And, you know, as a big KOL, one thing that he would definitely recognize and knows he can do, because of his follower base and whatnot, he can just say something like that and it will get a lot of traction. I mean, if you go and look at the post right now, because I did actually ask here. Knowing me now, I won't be able to find it despite it was yesterday. How far back am I going to go? That was 11th of May. So that's way too far back. Here, nope, not there. Twitter's been very, very weird recently because sometimes I have to go to my replies to actually find the post that I made, despite it should be in the post. So I find that very, very odd at times. To be fair, actually, no, I think it was a reply. I tell a lie. It was a reply that I did, not an actual post. Yeah, look here. So look, major Casper leak, rumors swirling that Coinbase just greenlit Casper for the price listing. I with the FOMO. I asked, do you have any source to support this? The post got 60k impressions. Got a lot of views, you know, it did very well. Of course, I said that, didn't get a response as I wasn't expecting to be honest. You know, pretty much most people are saying similar thing as source. I mean, it is just source, trust me, bro. And because this guy has a lot of followers, you know, that doesn't mean he can just get away with it per se, but it means that because of that, people will probably take it more credible, which, you know, be it as it may. I have no information as such. Maybe he knows something and he's not allowed to say it. I don't know. Until we see Coinbase Exchange actually post something about it, I'm not getting ahead of myself. It was just pure FOMO post. Trust me, bro, source. I don't see any confirmation as such. I did speak about it yesterday and I did provide some sources that support the fact that it is a possibility because of what the KEF stated and because, again, crypto.com are gearing up as well. And you're seeing wallets accumulate more and more, and Casper's now actually running up in value again. So likelihood is that when one exchange lists, which will rally the price up higher and higher as well, other exchanges who will not want to miss out on the lower price right now will start buying more aggressively so they can list the project, and then you might just see a catalyst and a snowball effect of listing Caspers. But again, you have to wait and see. Welcome back, Ghosty, my man. Hope you're very, very well. Welcome back to the channel. And crypto, where will Casper pull back to? Looking to deploy my last bag. It's a great question, brother. For me, it's tough to say because, you know, I play reaction to these markets right now. That's for me the best thing to do while the markets are very uncertain. And of course, we can make, you know, educated guesses as anything is in crypto, but right now, there's still a lot of investor uncertainty. That's why the markets are coming down right now. Nobody knows how tomorrow's PPI data is going to come forward. If it ends up being beneficial, then of course we'll see the market probably go up a little bit. Then we see it maybe pull back again a little bit, make consolidation for the time being. If you see it being negative, we might see a significant pullback, maybe down to 10 cents, maybe only down to 10.5 cents, maybe even a little bit further to 9.5 cents. Again, if we could, let's look at a fib retracement, right? Draw this out here. So we could see Casper therefore come down to the golden pocket around 10.7 where it did last time round. If you look right here, on 2 occasions it dipped down to the golden pocket and then rebounded back on that same day. So maybe we see a similar thing. If Casper does see some negative price, maybe it comes a little bit below that and goes into the golden pocket, down to this part around here around 10 cents. Again, time will tell, we'll have to wait and see. It really, really does depend on tomorrow's data. And then you still got to keep up in tune with all the tariff and geopolitical developments as well and stuff that's happening and what Japan's trying to do right now, claiming and threatening about dumping US treasuries on the US banks. All information once more that I provide and try to keep up to date to in my community, in particular more so in the VIP group. So if you want to be even more in tune and up to date with crypto, then come check out the VIP. You can go on for free 7-day free trial on there as well. We do a lot of information in there, alpha information, you know, institutional documents, so we can find out what they're looking at ahead of time, what projects they're looking at, what sectors they're analyzing right now, and how much they think coming into crypto. Alongside trade alerts, we've done a lot of very, very profitable trading recently as well, which would be great to see. We do weekly live streams every Sunday. We do, again, much more in there as well. And equally, we're going to see if we can try and expand that horizon a little bit more so, trying to see if we can get some scoops for projects we really care about. So like Casper Alpha if we can. But you know, that's something we've got to still look at. But things like now are looking good. So if you want to find out more for a 7-day free trial, get a little bit of an inkling, find out what's going on, a bit more in the space, and then even be more locked in, tune in. And because the stuff like that, like for example, the CPI data, I gave a very, very in-depth rundown about in that community there. I'll quickly bring it up, like just right here. Give a very, very in-depth rundown about what happened, what it means, and you know, diving deeper as well. All this stuff here. So you can find that sort of stuff that I post whenever it happens as well, alongside much more in there. And I'll be posting some more stuff like crypto gems and maybe some more meme pics as well in the future as well. So again, there's more to come. I'm still building it up. So if you want to find out more, again, go check that out. But I'm not entirely sure right now. I'm going to play Reactionary tomorrow and find out. If you see the market, I think we're still going to see a pullback. If you get positive PPI, I think we'll see a pullback, maybe not so bad, maybe down to 10.5-ish, 10 point, like this pocket here again, you know, after a day or two. If you get it being negative, we might see it come back down to maybe 10, maybe 9.5, something like that. We'll have to wait and see. What's up, Gift? Right, bro, she's doing very well. I expect Pepe to pump and dump, but it's not doing that. It holds more than Casper. Fair. I mean, comparing a meme to Casper is a weird flex, but you do you, bro. Pepe is a meme coin. It has a cult-like community behind it, so they're going to keep the project up no matter what. Casper, while also having a cult-like community behind it as well, you know, Casper has held up and is now rallying very well. It's up over 2x in a month period of time. But up over 2.5x in a month. So it's still doing very well right now, and it's probably going to continue running from here. You know, Pepe is obviously one of the bigger memes. Pepe is also a much bigger asset as well. You know, if you think about how many holders there are on Pepe in comparison to Casper, it's like night and day right now. Pepe's been out for a lot longer as well. Or, well, no, that's incorrect. It's a meme, so it's had a lot more. The whole meme bubble took off, you know. The whole meme bubble took off. And that therefore let Pepe rally up massively as well. I mean, Pepe, again, it went up to, you know, significant heights. You know, look at the volume here. Let's actually load it up on CoinMarketCap to get a more accurate reading. Well, I wouldn't say more accurate, but a more easier to analyze reading, because TradingView is actually more accurate. But you can see, look, the volume right now is at 1.4 billion. 1.4 billion volume, and that's down 29%. Casper right now is at 100 million. So, you know, Pepe's got the market cap's it's like 2 times Casper's, but the volume, because it's a meme token, it's being traded frequently. It's a meme. It's got no use just being a meme. So you can't really compare the two. And even then, like, Pepe still saw a very, very big pullback. 80%. So actually, it came back more than Casper did. Casper came back 75% from all-time highs. Pepe came down on a quicker time frame, but down 80%. So actually, Pepe did not hold up better than Casper. So that actually is also factually incorrect. But again, that's me being nitpicky. Not to bite anybody's head off, but again, it's like comparing water and olive. It's just, they don't mix. Memes and Casper, they don't mix. They're not the same thing. I think as long as PPI and POW is positive, we'll continue up until June before actually correcting. If I had a guess, the earliest rate cut could be July, August. I have a similar thesis myself. I do think we'll see some form of pullback soon, just in conjunction to the M2. Again, we may have already seen the pullback like we're seeing right now. Maybe we've already seen it. Who knows? Maybe we have already seen it, but I would not be surprised to see another pullback of sorts in conjunction to the M2. Again, not a holy grail almighty indicator, but a relatively accurate one. And it does seem to indicate that, you know, we have seen a pullback. We might see it come back down. Then now it's going to go through its, you know, sideways and upwards maybe. Or maybe it's still going to come back a little bit more. Again, it's tough to judge. You could put it at the 90-day where I normally leave it at. 90-day being 13 weeks. So it's between 10 to 15 weeks. You want to do this right now. 90 days. And you can see the M2 therefore suggests that we should be seeing, you know, we saw this rally up right now as it did do it. You saw it rally up, come back, rally up, it's come back. So we might be seeing some more, you know, bullish pressure coming back. It might actually hold 103. Maybe it'll come back down here, as it is currently in line with that as well. And then go up again. Again, it does depend though. It does depend. You are right, Bingo, that the PPR will be important. And if the PPR comes back being bullish and positive, that will influence Jerome Powell's discussion and sentiment as well, and that could therefore drive more investor confidence. So we have to be very insightful and pay attention to that. Well, thank you very much, Gosu Man, and hope you're having a great day so far. I appreciate very, very much, brother, for the birthday wishes. So how did the SEC save Casper? Well, I have just gone through all of that. I imagine you've already listened to that already. Effectively, it just came down to, again, Gary Gensler playing devil's advocate. Despite his knowledge in crypto and digital assets, he was playing more Senate politics and confirmation politics than anything else. He stifled crypto innovation for a very, very long time in America, which saw business go elsewhere, but also now it's coming back under Trump. But it therefore gave Casper more time to develop itself as an actual layer 1 infrastructure to be able to compete properly in this space and let the cycle rally off later. Because again, if we saw the level of adoption we're trying to be seeing right now, a few months earlier, because Gary Gensler was actually not so negative on crypto, we might see a market top already. Could have seen it very, very early. So this for me is a positive, because Casper again did very well on that bull cycle, so they didn't really get affected by it, or not too drastically. I just joined. Okay, so I maybe you did just miss me then. You can watch it on playback, of course. You might have just missed me explaining it. I did explain these elements as well already in the past about how the SEC basically supports Casper with crypto mining, and equally the KRI I've met with the SEC Crypto Task Force as well, so that's also bullish, but it mainly came down to the fact that the old SEC was stifling innovation, seemingly by design, for reasons unbeknownst to us. Maybe it was to give time, pre-plan to give time for the other TradFi companies like JP Morgan, who were very anti-Bitcoin and crypto, to actually get involved with blockchain. So it might be by design again. Welcome back, DD Man. Hope you're doing very, very well. Welcome back to the channel, my man. You forgot the second dodge. That's my fault because I am so late to get into the comments right now that I don't even know what I was referring to. I apologize. Wrench, is that? I apologize. What's up, John Doe, man? It's your birthday. Happy birthday, bros. How young you turning? Oh, that's a great question. I am still in my 20s, but I'm getting later on now. That's how I'm getting very later on now. I'm not liking it. I'll leave it at that. I don't want to be too exact. I might be more open with VIPs, those who, maybe, again, I don't know. There's certain things that, due to privacy, I do keep secret. That thing's not too deep, I guess, but you never know what creeps are out there nowadays, like Mr. Mars, who want to just take... Mr. Mars already told me, the moment I do Face ID, I'm getting AI cropped, so I'm scared. The moment I do a face cam, I'm scared Mr. Mars is going to take advantage, So I've got to be careful. But yeah, thank you very much, Don, my man. Thank you for the wishes. When do you think Mara will dump all their capital for Bitcoin? If we ever see $1, Mara will dump hard on us. Good question. I don't think they will. I really don't. Because despite they have evidently got negative sentiment on Casper, evidently, and I highlighted in the last video I made about Marathon just did the unthinkable of Casper. Despite they have dumped more and more Casper, and they even removed the name Casper from their balance sheet, they are still upgraded to Crescendo. They're still mining Casper, so actually they're in a better position for Casper right now because they're mining it still while not holding it, which is great. And Casper, comparatively to Bitcoin right now, has come down significantly. Bitcoin is down, it's Bitcoin, so it's bigger, of course, but Bitcoin's only down 4%, 5% from all-time highs. And it's Bitcoin as well. Casper, even though it's had a massive rally recently, Casper is down, 45%? 40%, 42% from all-time highs. It's down significantly. So the profit in Casper right now, in regards to mining, is not as much. I think it's a bit better after 10 BPS. Again, I cannot confirm that. I know it's better for solo mining, so that therefore does maybe make it less beneficial for Marathon. Again, my exact in-depth knowledge of mining is not as superior as people like Tony or even Tony or people who are in this community who do the mining projects. They have more knowledge than I do, so definitely reach out to them. My answer is I don't think they will dump Casper completely. I think it would be unwise for them to do so. With the rumours that you keep someone in your basement and also sell feet pics, networking goon must be hard, mate. Or networking must be hard. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to lie, it's going to be very, very difficult for those who have tuned in. I know I have had Wolfie occasionally join these streams, which has been, a real blessing. I know I've had people like Casper Enthusiast who've joined as well on occasion. And I've had some very big members who are quite well in tune to the community who have joined these streams on occasion, and I have been blessed to be in there. I don't know if Capital ever has, but again, I'm not expecting them to. But yeah, I mean, that hopefully won't tarnish my name too much. Hopefully they realise it's just a joke with my community and my loving members. But yeah, if that does become a problem, I'm going to have to nip that in the bud, definitely. On the C. Yes. Again, not sure what's calling it into, so that might be my fault for being too late. Apologies, bro. We moon yet? Not yet. Bring Hong. In due time, though. In due time, indeed. On the check-in, Cap outperformed Ton, Tron, and Aptos. No surprise there. No surprise there, indeed. Casper is going to outperform everything in the future. Happy birthday. Let's moon. Thank you very much, Ring Hong, my man. Hope you have a great day so far as well with yourself. That being said, let's get into more of the Casper before we get into more of the information and stuff. We can see here, Azza here highlights that apparently things are just busy over at Bybit as well. More exchange FUD, unfortunately. Casper is allegedly congested. I checked the network and Casper is running smooth, so I'm not quite sure what this relates to. Perhaps the recent price action is finally causing some FOMO to set in, and with the lack of tier 1 exchanges to choose from, Bybit is coping plenty of traffic. Anyone have any ideas? Captain Sats highlights here the fact that they are putting congested there makes Casper look bad. Of course it does. With a lot of Casper network congested, it's not Casper at all. They know it's not true, but they still do it. It should say we are incompetent, 1,000 confirmations. And yeah, it's 100% true, you know. And it's frustrating right now because it's not just Mex, it's not just Bybit, it's also Mexi. And they saw it yesterday as well. Mexi are also having issues as well. So it's not just, you know, Bybit. You know, all the big, so Bybit, one of the bigger exchanges right now, one of the few tier 1s for Casper, and Mexi as well being one of the higher volume for Casper as well. Like these two big exchanges with a lot of traffic, they are reporting congested issues with Casper right now, which is frustrating and once more a testament to not keeping your money on exchanges. If you do, you know, put it into a Tangent wallet ASAP. Of course, if you buy it, you have to buy it on exchange. You then have to transfer over to a Tangent wallet. It's quite a pain. Hopefully in the future you'll be able to buy it just straight up on Casper native platforms like Casper.com, where you get stablecoins on the platforms coming out, native stablecoins. But that's very, very frustrating as well, because it makes it look like Casper, that chain, that DAG is the one that's congested, but it's not Casper that's congested. Casper's running perfectly fine. It's the platform itself that is struggling to deal with Casper, which is, you know, frustrating. We can see here as well from Casper Mexi, who is Mexi Casper, who is solely a Twitter page purely dedicated to just reporting, exposing the blatant manipulation of Casper by Mexi. That's literally the whole page is about. I've been doing it for a long time now. Mexi is officially running out of Casper after shorting Casper for so long that he no longer have the reserves to cover user withdrawals. Since yesterday, the price of Casper had been higher on Mexi than the other centralized exchanges. Why? They want traders to buy at cheap prices on other exchanges and sell to them. Do not do this. We're so close to killing the beast. If you're going to do anything on Mexi, make sure it is withdrawal. Now, that's an interesting ideology or interesting statement, and it is true. You know, if you look right now, at least I believe it was true. Is it still true now? Yes, we can see right here. Look, Bybit, Casper's at 12.03 cents. BitGet same. Gate 12.04. So pretty much everything right now is at 12.02, 12.04. Mexi is at 12.16. So Mexi is, a little bit higher. So there is a way you actually could flip profit buying on one exchange and sending it back to Mexi. So that is peculiar. Why it's happening again, unbeknownst to me, I don't exactly know. I don't completely agree with the sentiment of running out of Casper when you look at the fact they still have over 937 million Casper in their address. They are now blowing Aquaman, so they are seemingly running short, but I don't think they're running out. They've still got over $113 million worth. And they probably have other wallets as well, who knows, but it is weird, and there probably is elements of truth in this. Maybe they're doing it to stop their bags from dumping too aggressively right now, because everyone right now is just selling on Mexi because they know they are causing issues. They acknowledged it as well. We covered that again in yesterday's stream, how there was an individual, Julian here, who highlighted, that he met with Mexi in Paris, and he confirmed that they are fully aware of the concerns raised by many members, but they just haven't sorted it out yet, which I just think is quite bent. I think you should really be taking your community at heart and paying attention, But hey, There's only so much I can do right now, only so much I can say. But that being said, again, yeah, so that's exchange drama. Also, very important, I've been putting this off for a few days, and I'm now going to get into it. This is something very big for Casper. We had a deep dive interview of Cas Media interviewing Igra Labs. Just for your information, Igra Labs is one of the Layer 2's initiatives coming to Casper. Some of their members include, I forget one of them, and I apologize, because I should remember your name, but I know Mike Zach's one of them, of the members, and basically the two members, Mike Zach and the other person, they both worked for DAG Labs. They worked on the initial creation of Casper, and now they're working to bring smart contracts to Casper as well. So great stuff to see all around. They're not Casplex, which is the actual, insider dev team effectively building native smart contracts, but they have people who worked in the early to the Casper as well. So they are, in my belief, definitely to be trusted. We'll have to wait and see how it expands more and more right now. But Igra's going to be very big. I'm hearing a lot of good things about Igra as well. So, I'm glad to hear about that. We can see here for Casper Commons again, the previous owner of Casper Currency. Dig deeper into Igra Labs with CasperMedia.com. Latest interview with Nicholas Sismel, who used to work as the head of Binance US listing, now works for Cas Media. By inheriting MEV resilience and atomic possibility from Casper's block DAG, we empower builders to create unstoppable real-time sensitive resistant and infinitely composable applications, expanding Satoshi's vision from trusted economic money into a truly trustless and scalable digital economy. Now, the 40-minute article here, I definitely recommend reading through all of it. It's very, very insightful. I am going to put it into some bullet point note format, which will be helpful, hopefully. But again, it's going to be very, very short, and is definitely going to be skipping over some major factors of this, so definitely listen to it yourself. But to summarize some of the big parts here, the bright future Casper has and the dark Bitcoin past, and how Casper's going to basically just flip everything in the future to be. Igra Labs talked about making blockchains faster and work better together, focusing predominantly on Casper and Bitcoin, of course. So Igra highlighted, with Nicholas Sismel's questions, Bitcoin speed bumps, making Bitcoin faster, scaling, basically. It's tough. They've avoided doing a hard fork. It's impossible, effectively. Ideas like Starknets help, and they give security, but relying on a single traffic controller sequencer, so a single, sequencer, can be risky. We highlighted as well the internet chaos theory. Bitcoin would be very susceptible to that risk. Casper is not. And changing Bitcoin, is effectively, I wouldn't say impossible, but it's highly, difficult now because of how big it's grown while not doing anything to it. So it's just ultimately Bitcoin is just too slow. Bitcoin was not built to handle lots of data, so it's slow and it's just a store of value, right? And now there are faster blockchains that have been built, layer 2s that have come out, which can actually be suitable for the speed, but they aren't ideal for security that Bitcoin has. So even if they try to fix this, Bitcoin's slowness makes it hard for them to operate smoothly. So even a layer 2 built on top of Bitcoin, they can't be efficient because Bitcoin at the base layer is still just too slow. So again, it leads to more complex and potentially unstable systems, like how banks created paper money on top of gold effectively. So if you had a system built predominantly on Bitcoin, it would in the future be, according to Igra Labs, be no different than the monetary system we have right now. That's not even tapping into the layers we have right now already, like Sui and XRP, which are just the same pretty much. But Bitcoin in the future, distant future, when all the world, 8 billion population drops on Bitcoin, theoretically, it would be just a new monetary system that we have right now. It'd just be terrible. But Casper, the newer blockchain, is designed to be super fast and secure. And Igra thinks Casper can act as a great, the word that he uses is traffic controller, ultimately just being able to utilize other blockchains, including Bitcoin and Ethereum, helping them become faster and more efficient. So Casper is becoming, it's like a power-up, Imagine you're playing a video game, or you're like playing Call of Duty Zombies. Those who may understand might get the reference, I guess. It's not the best reference, but Call of Duty Zombies right now, Bitcoin is, the Browning, right? Ethereum is the PPSH. Those are some OG guns. And then you've got, I don't know, definitely not accurate. I'm just throwing examples out there, right? And then you've got, Sui as the ray gun, right? Again, this is not me saying they are like that. I'm just giving examples, right? But Casper is the pack-a-punch. It makes everything a lot better, and it's interoperable with everything as well. In the future, to be at least. And when you get native smart contract, it'll be interoperable with everything in the future as well. So Casper is the pack-a-punch, which is, going to help everything become more efficient. And it might help. You still see a lot fall off, but Casper therefore become how the internet is today. You don't think about when you type into, the URL at the top, http://www. You don't type in HTTP anymore. That's the protocol that happens in, naturally, but it happens, blind. You don't recognize it, right? You don't recognize it. Casper will be the HTTP for crypto. You will eventually not really recognize it, but it'll be the natural element running all the blockchain together. That's how I envision Casper, really. And Igra's plan is building a system on Casper that uses clever technology, the ZK rollup, to make transactions fast and secure. They want to create a unified system where different dApps, decentralized applications, and blockchains can easily work together, like having all apps on your phone with the same basic language. So, again, they mentioned how they got Ethereum virtual machines coming out. Soon you'll see Solana. Soon you'll see the Move language, which is Sui, Move is Sui language. And you'll see Bitcoins as well. You'll see all the languages come on top of the Casper blockchain. And you'll see Casper become the native platform, I believe, for everything in the future. So, they also talk about why Casper in this as well. The team behind Igra Labs chose Casper because it's the only existing blockchain that's both fast and secure enough to act as a central quote-unquote traffic controller. They like Casper's open and transparent approach, which I agree. And ultimately, again, Casper and Igra want to create and fulfill Satoshi's original dream and vision. A truly reliable and fast digital economy, something that cannot be done with Bitcoin anymore, but it can be done with Casper. That's the TLDR of this 14-minute article. Definitely, again, recommend listening and going through all of it. I've already linked it in my community, so definitely go check that out. Again, links to the community are down below in the description, and also my homepage here as well. The free Discord public server there as well. But it's a very insightful document, and once more a testament to how early and blessed we are to be with Casper, and why I look forward to seeing where we are going in the future. That's why I'm not, I don't care about immediate price action. Of course, I want to make some money to cycle, and I do think we will. But I'm holding Casper for the long term as well, because I do see this as the future, the literal future of crypto, of money, of the world. In other news as well, also good to see compound hash rate. Our facility adds another 40 ASICs to the fleet. So great to see all around. Something I did want to highlight quickly as well, the hash rate currently at 1.1 EH, although with 10 BPS right now it's actually at 110 technically speaking. But I was informed through my sources that this massive drop off here, was it here? No, it was yesterday. So here. That was a drop off with just Ice River having some maintenance, so that was not a cause for concern right now. It happens, maintenance happening, but things are now back as they should be, which is good to see. And hopefully with more rhinos coming out soon and Casper's infrastructure, economy ecosystem starting to grow more and more as well, with smart contracts seemingly on the horizon, and equally stablecoins will see Casper again get more hash rate. And you'll see again more decentralization as well, because again 10 BPS incentivize more solo mining because you can make rewards more passively as well. I think they will sell off Casper throughout that entire journey, but will always maintain a certain amount too. Yeah, that's what I believe. Is it possible in the next coming month we can go to $1? It's tough to say. It's really, really tough to say right now, because that's it will require a lot of major catalysts to see that immediately. I'm not saying it's not possible to see that in the cycle, but how soon I cannot attest to. Because you've got to think about it. Casper right now has been suppressed for a while. There's still a lot of bearish sentiment around it. A lot of people have just given up right now. Once it blows past, 20, 30 cents, you'll be more or less smooth sailing. You'll have the distance at 50, 80 cents, $1. So you'll still be going up, but it'll be smooth sailing pretty much. But at the same time, you've got to think all the catalysts to come and what it will mean if Casper can really attain it. Tier 1 listings, smart contracts, native smart contracts, stable coins. Do we get Dagnite? If we do, then most definitely we'll reach $1 in my belief. If not, then again, is what it is. I think we need that to reach $1, but it'd be a big help. Institutional adoption, the KRI, are they going to be able to launch their product and fully have them running this year? They're going to launch them this year. They're going to be full running and operational this year, with Casper therefore being utilized already. That again, we're not so sure about. So I can't answer with any certainty, but I think it's a possibility at least. What's the point of Casper tokens? Why not just hold Casper? It's just taking more part in the ecosystem, really. I'm not gonna just hold Casper. Like, when this smart contract stuff comes out and the ecosystem evolves more and more, I'm going to also take part in the ecosystem. Whether it be trading NFTs or just tokens or memes, whatever it may be, I'm going to take part in it because I want to help contribute to this community as well. That's ultimately how you make the community grow more and more, is contributing. Not saying you have to, by all means, hold in the cold storage and keep it for, 70 odd years. Theoretically, of course. But you know what I mean? Like, it's not that deep. But I'm going to contribute to it. That's why I have KRC20 tokens myself. Only a few right now. I only have a few. But I do hold some because I think they've got a good potential to do very well in terms of investment-wise, and I also want to contribute to the community as well. Happy birthday, my humble brother. Bless you. Thank you very much, Timothy, man. God bless you too, my man. Thank you very much for the kind words. If you don't hold Pepe, you're missing out. I agree. And I don't hold Pepe, so I'm missing out. Casper dropped 20% overnight. Yeah, it did very, very well. Currently, it's up 85 right now, so it's done incredibly well now. You saw a similar thing with Wolfie. Wolfie jumped up like... What did Wolfie do? Wolfie did something insane not too long ago. I was watching it, and I slightly missed out on it. I did get into Wolfie in the end, but I slightly missed out on it. Yeah, look, Wolfie. It went up like 5x, came down, and now it's doing a steady rise again, which is great to see. So something's cooking for Wolfie. It looks like. But I mean, yeah, Wolfie did something crazy to numbers as well. So everyone's just calling me a wrench now. Is that me? Okay, cool. Send me 10k Casper and I'll tell you Jay's age and how much Casper he holds. You don't know that information. You might know the age thing, actually. You don't know how much Casper I hold. What's your OnlyFans? I hate Mr. Miles. That's my OnlyFans name. You're still buying Casper at these prices? I haven't bought Casper, for the past, I'd say, week or so. But I would still buy, yes. I'm inclined to buy right now. I'm just waiting on, I've got my bags right now. I'm content with what I have right now. Anything more I get is just a bonus. But I can buy more now if I choose to, and I would not be against doing so. So I'm not right now, but I do plan to. Even if Casper goes up from here, if it goes to 14 cents here, tomorrow, and it's only going to go up from here, I'd still buy anything below 20 cents, and even then I still probably buy going up anyways. Casper hasn't even returned to all-time highs, and everyone here is sure it'll break all-time highs. Oh, I'm complete confident about that. Complete confidence. Happy birthday! Thank you very much. I'll be my man. Doing very well myself. Wolfie is convinced that QC has to be chained in his basement. I pray not. I really do. That's my crowning achievement. I really hope not. Wolfie needs speakers. I'm sure they do. Yeah, I'm sure he doesn't. I'm sure they do. Yeah, I mean, I would not be attached to doing so, but I mean, yeah. Again, I need to do my own networking. Once I mention soapy beans being served to me, it's all the convincing Wolfie needs. Wolfie does have a bar in the UK. You know that, right? Bigger speakers, bigger speakers, right, okay. But that's only going to come with time, right? No one really speaks about Casper because not being paid to do so. Eventually, they will all either be paid to do so because they've got the capital to do so, or they're just asked to do so because they want to be part of something bigger. But to see, though. What? You man are weird. Somebody talks about wearing... Yeah, okay, I'm not reading that. Uphold charges me 0.02 cents of a spot when buying Casper. Is that... I'm trying to think if that's really good or not. I think that's pretty good, no? I'm trying to think about it because I normally do it in regards to just percentage. Like some exchanges do like a 1% or a 2% transaction fee or 0.2 or something like that. But I think that sounds pretty good. Uphold's quite a decent exchange. I haven't been preaching about Uphold enough. I normally talk about everything else but Uphold, but Uphold is a good exchange. Casper is the star power up in Mario Bros. Yeah, that's also a good analogy. The star power up in Mario Bros. Or Casper is the blue shell Mario Kart. You got... Actually, no, Casper right now is the Bullet Bill. It's Mario Kart with 2 power-ups. You got Bullet Bill. You're going to catch up to everything else quickly, and then you're going to blue shell the first place being Bitcoin and take it over. That's what Casper is. Have we talked about that Casper Classic, the fork here before? I don't think so. Maybe I'm wrong though. maybe I'm wrong. Casper is like Thanos with all 6 stones, 10 PPS, smart contracts, Dagonite, Coinbase, Binance, KII. Single snap, half of crypto projects will be into dust. It'll be more than half. It'll be more than half LB. 99% are going to go to zero, and Casper will be a big factor to that. It seems like it's easy to understand what you're saying. Glad you worked on your speech craft as a valuable skill. Oh yeah, I agree. I do agree. I go through stages, honestly. Like today has been a day where I can't articulate my words very well, and sometimes I even shock myself. But like when I get really tired, or some days I'm just really unlucky, my mouth don't move properly, and it requires a lot more attention to detail to me to speak properly. So I am trying to actively work on it though. I'm trying to speak slower as well. Making sure I drink enough water to keep my mouth hydrated as well, because normally it comes down to my mouth being just too dry as well. It's a lot of factors. I have never been a public speaker. In fact, I had a massive bit of stage fright. It's also probably why I never did face cam. I'm a lot more confident in doing that sort of stuff now after doing this for so long. But I mean, yeah, I thank you very much, man, and I'm glad you're able to understand what I'm saying. Wolfie cooking, real world asset. Oh yeah, cool. Wolfie is cooking, no doubt. I mean, those big speakers he has in his office. Wolfie, the wolves are different. Oh yeah, I mean, I have some incredible wolves that I speak to frequently, and yeah, I love their community so much. 3 Wolfies, the Casper PR man, the NFTs, and the Casway token. I mean, yeah, Wolfie is I love the Wolfie community very, very much. I think they're very, very undervalued. Why don't you speak French instead on here? Because I do not speak French. I do plan to learn another language. If I'm honest, it's going to either be Spanish, Japanese, or Chinese. Japanese because I have been to Japan and I loved it there, and I do consider moving there maybe one day, and that would just be a good skill to have. And also I do watch anime. Don't hate me because anime is sick. I'm not going to have any anime slander in this channel. And you know, maybe it'd be cool to actually understand that, you know, instead of having subtitles. China, because China's one of the biggest economies in the world. I can speak English already, so speaking Chinese could be also very beneficial. And Spanish is equally one of the most well-spoken languages as well. And of course, you know, Latinas, right? I think everyone can agree, Latinas, right? Am I right? I'm right. I know I'm right. With that being said, though, that will be it for today's Casper and crypto live stream. If you enjoy the content, as always, oh yeah, Spanish is a very good choice. I'm sure it is. You know, vamos. North Korea would be an interesting move. I don't think I'd move there personally, but, you know, nothing against North Koreans, just I don't think I'd move there personally. I don't think they do too kindly to foreigners. I think South Korea is okay, but I think North Korea are a bit not. Again, not going to get too much into too political for me. Too political. That being said, if you enjoy, leave a like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more. You know the deal. If you want to see more about crypto and Casper, then by all means, check the free community here. Even more in-depth information, VIP information, alpha information, trading alerts. We had so many successful trades recently. We've been popping off. Want to find out more? Check out the VIP group, wop.com/coinfactory. 7-day free trial as well, so you can check it out for a week for free. See if it's a bit of you like it, what you see as you do. Come sign up if you don't. That's no foul, no harm, no foul. Hopefully see you back there later on anyways. Have a great day, good evening, good night everybody. Casper ecosystem is amazing. Nacho and Wolfie is my plays. I think they're great plays as well. Obi1.Casper. I do agree. And yes, Alan Bates says here, hit the like. I agree. Have a great day, good evening, and good night, my man, my family, my peoples. And I'll see you all in the next one. Take care now.